บุปผาราตรีดอกไม้แห่งรัตติการผู้ไม่หลับไหลเท่านั้นที่จะได้สัมผัสกลิ่นหอมของมัน
The opening scenes of Buppah Rahtree are seen very much through the eyes of the character Ek, a young boy, a rich young man, who seems to be fascinated by this girl who sits alone in the school library, a girl who cannot be easily won over, the one girl who doesn't seem to be interested in his handsome and rich friend. Ek has been following her and trying to get her to show an interest in him for a long time. He watches her as each day she goes to the shop at the end of her street to buy bread to feed the birds. It is here, as she's feeding the birds, that he first finds himself able to speak to her. She asks him with a kind of annoyance why he has been following her every day. He tells her because he likes her so much. She says that if she makes merit by feeding the birds, in her next life she might be born with wings, and if she had wings she would fly away from Bangkok. She tells him she knows everything about him, including that he has a girlfriend studying in England and that he is seeing one of the most popular girls in the school. So, why is he bothering her? He says it is because he likes her and that he doesn't have any girlfriend. She doesn't really believe him, but she still spends 3 days having sex with him in a hotel room. What she does not know is that he's set up a camera in their room to film his conquest of her so that he can win a bet. A bottle of whiskey, and he knows, as his friends watch the tape, that he has destroyed her soul just to win a bet. He knows exactly what he has done, but his friendship and his status among his friends is more important than the life of some poor girl. And in order to avoid having to see her again, he changes his phone number to avoid her calls. It is after that we see she has been sexually abused by her stepfather since she was a young girl, and we watch her stab him several times with a fountain pen that he has bought for her. Ek meets with her, confesses the reason for his seduction of her, his real reason, and tells her how sorry he is. He will do anything he can for her. She tells him that she has been pregnant for 2 months. Since that time they spent together, how is he going to help her? He takes her to have an abortion and then returns with her limping to her apartment building. He puts her to bed and says he's going out to buy her some rice porridge. She tells him she loves him, but he says nothing in return. Coldly, instead of buying her food, he gets into his car and drives away, going to study in England just like his father told him to. And here the film changes tack. Ek's narrative voice disappears from the film, and we are introduced to a number of colourful characters, all living in the same apartment block. This is the beginning of Buppah Rahtree, Flower of the Night. It's been 20 years now since the first release of Buppah Rahtree, and yet there's a tone to the film that makes it feel timeless. That apartment building, degraded and paling paint apartment building is like so many all over Bangkok, where young people, dislocated from their families and culture, struggle to make the rent. The fact that the middle section of the film can be seen quite easily as a knockabout comedy, their situation is dismal. The overweight transsexuals running the barbers and losing their basic income. The fake shaman using all manner of trickery just to make a basic living. These are people of very low status, and they're contrasted completely with the rich family world to which Aik belongs. His family, pompous as they are, as demanding as they are, they support him. And all the scenes in Aik's home are brightly lit and the opulence is palpable. The apartment block, on the other hand, may be full of entertaining characters who feel at times like Thai counterparts to the terrified Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, but they're in a badly strip-lit apartment block, sitting, waiting their lives out, going nowhere. It's all too easy for the Western viewer to denigrate such broad comedy in the same way that they have traditionally denigrated the horror film. And maybe because of that, the two kind of suit each other. They come from below. They deal with the kind of situations that don't elevate their protagonists, but at the same time allow us to recognize some truths that mainstream films cannot recognize without delivering heavy-handed and dull sermons. It is odd to think that at some point some of the appreciation meted out to horror films did so while insisting on the dourest of characters populating the films. In his well-regarded American Werewolf in London, John Landis confused viewers by having comedic characters in a film that was primarily serious and tragic. Yuthlert Sippapak does the same here. During the second section of the film, we are invited to see the elements of the film from a distance, from the perspective of those characters in the apartment building. The ghost of Rahtree seems territorial and protective. Without wanting to sound too up myself, her vengeance is a kind of class warfare. Now, Aik, he's not an evil character. He feels guilt about his actions towards Rahtree, but probably because of the social distance, he's also disgusted by her. He's disgusted by what he thinks of as her weakness in liking fast cars, particularly disgusted by her telling him that she loves him. He would run a mile from a woman like this, even if he is also strangely fascinated by her. His life could be as easy as that of his friends with whom he wins the bet. It is the fact that he cannot commit to either being with Rahtree or avoiding her condemns him to the grueling horror that is his fate. That the various exorcists fail completely in their objective to rid the apartment of Rahtree's spirit defines the nature of their accidental complicity by not being able to save her while she was alive. The anonymity of a young girl in a small flat with no one to look out for her. Not that the film is in any way a sociological lecture, don't get me wrong. It's a rollicking piece of entertainment with funny characters and a few scares and a great central performance from Laila Bunyasak that is in some ways reminiscent of Sissy Spacek's similarly haunted schoolgirl in Carrie. The writer and director, Yuthlert Sippapak, not only uses comic actors to give the film a warmth, but liberally steals and references the world he has inherited. This is a world where characters know the conventions of horror. Whether or not you find Rahtree a scary film might depend on your ability to accept Sippapak's genre-bending style. It's definitely worth giving it a try.